The first month of the season has come to an end here in the Braves franchise, so before we head into the month of May, it is time for the April recap, where the Braves finished the month at 11-9, and that is good enough for third place in the NL East. They are not first place. They're only 2 games back, though, and this is like the worst monthly recap I could do because it's 1 month after the season. Like, all the stats don't mean anything, the records don't mean anything. A team could be dead last in the division right now, and they could end up winning the division by the time the season comes. It's just, none of this stuff matters right now. It's all just so people can look at stats. Inciarte, in the league leaders with 15 runs, is 3rd in the National League, and then 7 doubles is tied for 7th. And then moving on to the pitching side of things, there's Mike Foltynewicz, who is Mike Foltynewicz is 1-2 with a 3.68 ERA, and even though his ERA is high, his WHIP is pretty good at a .95. So he's despite his ERA being a bit high, I mean it's not high, it's still pretty good. It's sub 4, but his WHIP definitely shows that it's better than a 3.68. While Patrick Corbin is the other way around. He's 1-1 with a 2.79 ERA, but his 1.55 WHIP is not too impressive. And then in the bullpen, there is Matt Wisler, who's pitched 8 innings as the long reliever. He's got a 5.63 ERA, but he's a reliever. 1 bad game can just send your ERA just sky high for a while as a reliever. And then his 1.00 WHIP is pretty good and definitely shows that his ERA should be a bit lower. I'm confident that'll turn around. Kyle Crockett, 10 2/3 innings pitched, a 2.53 ERA, one of the lefties in the bullpen. George Contos came over from the Giants in the offseason, 13.1 innings pitched, 3.38 ERA. And then Ian Kroll got called up while John Stilson got sent down because he was not pitching well. Ian Kroll got called up to be another lefty in the pen, and he's been pretty darn good. 7 2/3 innings and a 1.17 ERA. And then Vizcaino's been our better 8th man guy, as he has a 6 innings pitched, and he hasn't given up a run all season yet so far, a 0.00 ERA. And then our new closer, David Robertson, 7 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, 2.57 ERA. He's been pretty good in the closer role. On the hitting side of things, there's Freddie Freeman, who's hitting 247, 322, and 457. Slugging is still pretty high, but the average in OBP is definitely not where you'd like to see it from the reigning MVP. Having a down start to the year, but once again, it's the first month of the season. This doesn't really mean anything. Josh Harrison, slow start to the season, 232 average, 264 OBP, and 290 slugging. Hopefully he'll be able to turn that around. Cory Spangenberg has gotten off to a pretty good start. He's got a 292 average with a 324 OBP and a 369 slugging. Not a big slugging type player, so the 292 average is really what I'm looking at. I'd like to see the OBP get a bit higher, but solid start to the year nonetheless. Dansby Swanson, decent average of 275, not walking much with a 297 OBP and then a 348 slugging. Jung Ho Kang has been by far our best hitter in the first month of the season, a 316 average with a 361 OBP, 553 slugging. He's hit 5 home runs and driven in 13 runs. But Jersey, he's a bad person in real life. That means you can't have him on your team in a video game. Yeah, okay. Marwin Gonzalez hitting 242, 342 OBP, and 348 slugging. He's still walking a decent amount, not the most, but once again, first month of the season, I'm sure he'll turn things around. John Ryan Murphy, once again, first month of the season, 189, 290, 377. Our bats have been struggling to start the year, and hopefully they'll be able to turn things around and get the season on track as we move along with the season. Taking a look at some of the minor leaguers in the pitching rotation in AAA, Aaron Blair is down there right now because the starting rotation is stacked 1 to 5, and he's kind of the odd man out, and I don't really want him to be a reliever, and plus there's not really any room for him to be a reliever anyways. So Aaron Blair is 2-0 in AAA with a 24 innings pitched. He has a 3.00 ERA. Mike Soroka's in AAA. He's got a 2-1 record, 25 innings pitched, 27 strikeouts, only walked 4 people with a 1.80 ERA. He's been pretty lights out to start the year. And then Mark Appel came over in the offseason. We signed him to a deal to be a AAA depth pitcher. He's 1-0 and 20 and a third innings pitched. He has not given up a run all season in those 20 and a third innings. And we did make one move before we head into the month of May, and that is, since we had Wilfredo Tovar and Ozzy Albies on our bench, they were kind of splitting each other's at-bats because they basically play the same role. They're both second baseman / shortstop. So I sent that Tovar because I wanted Albies to be the guy who gets the at-bats as the backup second baseman / shortstop. So Tovar down to AAA, and then we did not have a backup third baseman slash first baseman, so we called up Rio Ruiz from AAA. He is now going to be our backup corner infielder. Very good defensive player, decent at the plate, B potential, not much else to say about him. He'll be our backup corner infielder heading into more of the season. So with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of the Atlanta Braves franchise. The month of April has come to an end, heading now into the month of May in third place in the NL East. I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I'm saying goodbye.
Summer breeze makes me feel fine.